Sometimes I do a little bit. It's just hanging out a little bit. Okay, I see it. Everything good with the sound now? All right. Hopefully it should be good. Let me know, Kendra, if it's straight now. The light popped on and everything. All right. Good, good, good. All right. Fabulous. All right. So back to what I was saying. This is a trauma. You have been through a trauma. This is not just something that went on in your head. This was not an emotional thing. This was a real physical thing that happened to you, okay? When you first found out, when D-Day first happened, you felt shattered, right? Feel like you were just in a pile on the floor fell out from beneath you. There's a lot of ways that people describe it, but it's the feeling of your whole world just shattering. And that is a physical feeling. Do you remember what that felt like? It was a real physical thing that happened. People describe it as a blow. People describe it like being stabbed. It is a physical sensation that we are dealing with. So when we are dealing with trauma, we're not just dealing with, oh, it's in our imaginations. No, it is fully in our bodies. We've got to start paying attention to what our bodies are doing in order to start to get over the trauma. Does that make sense? I need you all to take it seriously. I need you all to realize that this is a real physical thing that happened. So if it's a real physical thing that happened, real physical things can help it. Okay? So the first real physical thing that I need you to do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Kendra, you're here with me now. You've been doing your deep breathing. Who has been doing their deep breathing? Let me know in the comments if you have been doing it on a consistent basis, because that's what we need, right? We need to be doing this deep breathing on a consistent basis. The reason why is, again, physical. We are trying to affect our physical body. When we are in that traumatized state, we go into fight or flight. Our body is pumping adrenaline. Our heart rate is increased. Our breathing is faster and more shallow. We're trying to get in more oxygen faster. Okay. But we're not fully breathing out carbon dioxide. The opposite of that is doing your deep breathing. It is fully and completely exhaling. It is deeply inhaling, holding that breath, letting your body use that oxygen, and then blowing out again. All right. So the opposite of I'm freaked out breathing is doing your deep breathing. Okay. We've got to do that consistently. I need you to be doing this 5 times a day. One more time for the people in the back. I need you to be doing this 5 times per day. If you're one of my clients, I will remind you, okay? I might even be a little bit annoying with it because 5 times during the day, when you tell me what time you want me to tell you, I will consistently tell you, hey, you need to be doing your deep breathing. You need to be doing your deep breathing. What is going on? You're not doing your deep breathing. I need you to be doing your deep breathing. Here, try this technique. Here, do it this way. I will give you different techniques because you got to be doing it. If you just go ahead and try it, just start with this and see how you feel after about a week of doing it consistently. You're going to be like, oh, that's why she said do that. People think that it's too simple. People think that breathing is not going to do anything for the anguish that I'm feeling, that for the sadness, for the anger. It is going to help you. It is going to help you to be back in control of your own emotions, to start to regulate yourself, to start to get a hold of yourself as you are trying to heal this pain. Okay. So we've got to do our deep breathing. All right. We're going to do it together 3 times just for the sake of time. What we do is 4-7-8 breathing. What you need to do is blow out, make the noise. All right. That sound is going to be a trigger in your brain. If you do it enough, your brain is going to know, oh, hey, she's doing the deep breathing. We're calming down. And it will work with you to calm down. All right. When I blow out for to exhale and completely exhale and deflate our lungs, then we're going to inhale for the count of 4. We're going to hold that breath for a count of 7, and then we're going to blow out like we're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. Now we're going to do that 3 times in a row. Do it with me. You're going to feel the difference. All right. So first things first, we're going to blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Put it in the comments. Let me know whether you're here now or in the replay. Let me know. How does it feel when you do your deep breathing? It should feel physically different. We are taking back control of our brain and saying, no, 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 I do not need the fight or flight breathing. I am not about to fight anybody. I'm not about to run away really fast. This is where I want to be. This is the person I want to be with. Let me get control over this real quick. You are teaching your body what you want it to do. If you are in the throes of the panic response, the trauma response of all of this, simple things like taking back control of your breath is going to tell your body and tell your brain that, hey, actually, I'm safe. And I am very capable of handling things and taking care of myself right now. I do not need you to go ahead and put me into automatic fight or flight. I don't want that right this minute. That is not what I need. That is not what's going to help me to heal, to reconcile, to fix this. That's not going to help me. Okay. So if we're doing this, we're doing that deep breathing, slowing down our heart rate, bringing our blood pressure down, getting ourselves lots of fresh oxygen to our brains. That is going to help us physically. This is not just in your head. This is a physical thing I need you to be doing so that your body knows, oh, she said we're safe. Okay, we must be safe because she's doing the breathing. She's calm. She is fully inhaling. She is fully exhaling. We must actually be safe. Even if it didn't feel like we're safe, it didn't seem like we were safe, but we must be because you're able to do the deep breathing. When you consistently tell your brain what to do, it will start to follow you much easier. But right now, it is on autopilot. It is just doing automatically what it does when it's been hurt. They're like, hey, look, you've been hurt, so we've got to get you away from everybody. We've got to separate you from the person that hurt you, not just them, but everybody. Keep you alone, keep you in the dark, make sure that nobody ever hurts you again. But that hurts too. All right. It hurts to be away from everybody. It hurts to have that wall up in front of you instead of being able to reach out to your honey anymore. You feel like, oh, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. And so then you're isolated, then you're all alone. That is hurting you too. So we've got to let our brains know that, hey, look, I understand you're trying to help. I get it, but I don't need it right now. I am safe with who I am with. I am safe within myself. I do not need you to go into fight or flight mode for me right this minute. Save it for a serial killer. Save it for when I'm in a movie and I gotta be running around being chased. Save it for that, not for my love life. All right. Does that make sense? I can't impress upon you how important it is to do your deep breathing. If you are in this dramatic state of mind, it gets you the fastest back to being in control of your emotions, being in control of your own thoughts. Okay. Second thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, lovelies, do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? I'm trying to tell you, I don't know what happens. People will start to forget and act like, oh well, yeah, I didn't do my journaling today, and I've been feeling worse, but I'm not actually gonna do the journaling. No, if you're feeling bad, if there's stuff in your head, do the journaling. Okay, you need to sit down with pen and paper and write down what's going on in your head. When you do that, you're paying attention. Number one, your brain is saying that this is a an alert type of moment. We are scared. We need to be on alert. You are taking that seriously. When you sit down and do your journal, you are saying, okay, I hear you, brain. I understand that you're freaking the hell out right now. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna talk about it in my journal. I'm gonna talk about my feelings. I'm gonna talk about what is going on and why I feel the way that I feel. I am paying attention. And then when you do that, your body and your brain are like, oh, she's got it. She's paying attention. She wrote it down. It's in the book. It's in the special book. That's the special book she writes in every day. Okay, I know it's in there. We can let it go for right now. It is a way of being able to let go. So if you are having a hard time with that, that's one of the first things you need to start doing is doing your journaling. Sit down for about 5 minutes in the morning before you get your day started, drink a glass of water and journal. Okay? 5 minutes. I'm not asking you for a book. Do not fill up pages. Just write down the things that skim to the surface of your mind, the things that rise to the top, put that down. All right. And then before you go to bed at night, get that stuff off of your brain that has been stressing you all day that will make you stay up and have nightmares. Write it down in your journal. Tell your brain to work on this problem while I'm asleep. You can handle it. I know my unconscious can handle it. Meet me in the morning and let me know what the solution is. That is what you are doing when you're writing it at night. So I need you to be consistent with this. I need you to start doing it. Write your date, you write your time, you write your level of anxiety. Your date and time are so you can go back and you have markers about when things happen. Who knew that 9:22 p.m. every Thursday night, you're feeling some kind of way? You would know that if you wrote it in your journal. You would know that. You would know that for sure. That every Thursday around 9 o'clock, I'm feeling some kind of way. It's a crawling in my chest. It's something clinging in my throat. It's giving me a headache every time this particular day and time comes up. You will know that. You'll be able to do something about the trigger before it happens. Okay? So that, and then your level of anxiety. Level of anxiety is 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. Write that down. I was talking to somebody last week. She said, I started doing that, and that was a great thing I started doing, putting a star, making something special on the top of those pages to say, hey, this was a good day, because then your brain can't lie to you. Then your brain can't say, oh, we're always so sad. We never have any good days at all anymore. It's lying to you when it's saying that. It's a trauma response. And so if you've got the days marked on your journal, and you can say, oh, but wait a minute, 6 days ago it was a wonderful day. I wrote a rainbow in the top of the page of this page, and 3 days before that I was actually feeling really good. I was like at a 1 out of 10 anxiety. I put a star on that page. When you go back and you look, you can tell your brain, hey, I know you feel like everything is bad, but I have evidence right here in front of me that I wrote that actually things aren't that bad. So could you calm down? Could you stop with the drama? You can tell your brain that if you've got evidence against it. Okay. Do this consistently. All right. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. That is a 10. If you are a 10, you are not writing in your journal. You're flipping out. You are screaming. You are throwing things. You are probably talking to the police because your neighbors called them. Okay, that is a 10. All right. You're out of control of self. You do not have a good grip on you if you're at a 10. Now, you can say I was at a 10 when you sit down and write. But if you are at a 10, you will not be able to sit down and write. It's not one of those things you're going to be capable of. You're going to be freaking out. You're going to be putting the pen down. You're going to be, standing up, screaming, doing the whole thing. So those boundaries are to let us know that the pain can only get but so bad. It can only get to a 10. That's as high as it can get. And that's me losing control of myself. It cannot get to 1,000. It cannot get to Godzilla big. It cannot do it. It will not crush me. It is 0 to 10. I put a fence around these feelings, and that is all that it can be. All right. It will let you have more control over regulating your feelings, understanding exactly how intense they are, and then doing things that will calm you in the moment. Okay. Third thing that I'm always going to tell you when we get together, I need you to develop an attitude of gratitude. Okay. I know it's hard to be grateful when bad things are happening. I get that. That is an understandable thing. However, okay, if you want things to get better, you've got to be looking towards the good. So when you are feeling really down, when you are really stressed, when things are just not going your way, you feel like you are on the struggle, look for something that you are grateful for. Okay? Look for that thing. Now, it's probably been a bit hard the last week or so because the full moon hit yesterday. I'm trying to tell you, it was affecting me about a week ago. And I'm still sleepy. It's still dragging at me, making me feel sleepy, okay? Karen said, no wonder I'm snippy yesterday. Yes, the full moon has been here and it is lingering right about now. So it may be a little difficult to think of things that you're grateful for. However, I want you to work on it. I want you to every day be focused on what am I really grateful for? What do I see in my life that I'm like, I'm glad that thing is around. Because there are things, and again, your brain can't lie to you and say nothing is ever good if you can find things to be grateful for, okay? That stops that negative thought process in its tracks because you are proving it wrong. Now, grateful is not the same as super happy, okay? We are not trying to go from being miserable to being super happy. That's too big of a jump. Gratitude is I know this thing to be true, and I know that it's something that I can be grateful for, even if everything else is awful. I'm still grateful that this thing exists. Okay. So, it can be, we're going through this whole situation, but I'm so glad for clean water to drink. I'm so glad that there's a roof over my head. I'm so glad that I was able to eat as much as I needed to eat today. Those are things to be grateful for on a day to day basis. Just because we're here on this planet and you are provided for in any way, shape, or form, you can feel gratitude for that. There are things that you need that you can't argue. Your brain can't argue and say, well, you didn't need any water today. Yes, the hell you did. Okay. So it can't argue with you about grateful. It can argue with you about happy. It can say, well, we should not be happy because X, Y, and Z has happened and they were very bad things. It cannot argue with you about having food to eat. It can't argue with that. It cannot say, oh, well, we're not grateful that we had food. It can't say that. It knows that that's ridiculous. And so then you're challenging your brain, making your brain say, okay, well, fine. Yes, that is a good thing. And once you start making it admit that a few times, it calms down all those other negative thoughts. Okay. So we've got to start paying attention to our triumphs, the things that we are grateful for every single day. If we start to look for those, we start to reprogram the trauma response into a more positive response. You are telling your brain to look for something good, and then your brain will start looking for more and more good things. All right. So Andrea said, my husband sent me a sexy text this morning. Hey. It said, and said, if those other women were around at the time he met me, he would still choose me. Isn't that what we all want to know? If this woman, that woman, the bunch of women that you're with, would you still have chosen me? Am I still the right one? Am I the one that you would pick? Am I the princess? Am I the main character? We all want to know it. All right. I get that we want to know it. We should know it anyway. We should just know that about ourselves. We are the main character. Yes, he should choose you. Yes, he should. Okay. If he knows what's good for him. But sometimes men don't know what's good for them. All right. But if he knows what's good for him, he should choose you. But it's nice to have that validation. It's nice for him to be like, yes, it does not matter whoever it was, no matter what other interest that I had, it still would have been you every single time. I love it. I love that. I'm glad that he said that. That was a sweet thing for him to say. You got sexy text. You got validation, reaffirming that his love for you. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Anybody else got something that they want to be shouted out about being grateful for? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for sleep. I'm trying to tell you because the full moon wore me out. I mean, I don't know what it was. I couldn't keep my eyes open. So I'm grateful for sleep. I'm grateful for a king size bed to sleep in and being able to sleep. But I don't know. I got all sorts of things to be grateful for every day. I'm grateful that today is Thursday and I get to talk to you all. I got good stuff going on in my life. You all tell me about your good stuff too, so I can shout you out because it's very easy to share the negative. It kind of just rolls off your tongue. But then if you're experiencing the positive, if you're experiencing something that you're grateful for, it feels a little bit less. You're like, oh, well, I don't want to brag. I want you to brag. Okay. I want you to tell me all about it. All right. Kendra, you said stability. Hallelujah, girl. That's what I'm trying to say. Definitely grateful for that. That stability. I understand what you're saying. Feeling like I'm on stable ground again, feeling like the ground has not swallowed me anymore. I am feeling stable. Things are going well. Things are being predictable again. I love it. I love that for you, Kendra. I'm glad that you have that to be grateful for right now because it helps tremendously when you can appreciate those things. That is a very basic thing that is super important. So if you can appreciate that and cultivate that, you get more of that. All right. All right. See, last thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together, stop asking all those questions. Okay. Seriously. Seriously, I need you to cut it out. Okay. I know. Full disclosure is the thing. Everybody says that, oh, in order for you to heal, you need all of this information. I am here to say that's bullshit. Okay. Don't believe that anymore. I don't want you to keep on believing just madness. All right. If you had left him, you wouldn't have all those answers now, would you? And so you wouldn't have healed at all? Absolutely not. Your brain is messing with you. It is a trauma response. Your brain keeps saying, you got to ask the question because I've got to find out about this threat and I've got to have some ammunition to throw at this threat the next time he becomes a threat. All right. That is what your brain is doing when it keeps on asking questions over and over and over again. It tries to make you feel bad about yourself and tries to make you feel bad about this person that you love too. It tries to keep on saying that you're so stupid and you're so dumb and you're just a doormat. And how could you even stay with a person like that? Your brain will tell you all sorts of mean things just to get you to find out more information. Because if you try and stop, your brain is like, oh, you're stupid. You look at you, you're doing something dangerous. It'll mess with you. So we've got to get back in control of our brain as they are doing this trauma response. The more questions you ask, the more questions you will find to ask. I promise you there will be no end. Unless you end it, unless you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop asking these questions now. That is the only time that they're going to end. Okay. You are not going to find out enough information. You are not going to know and understand every bit of what happened. You are an entirely separate person from this person. You can't go into their brain and wire your brain up enough to understand exactly why they did this. Okay, that's asking too much. That's saying your brain is trying to stop you from healing by telling you that. It is telling you over and over again, oh no, you must understand every bit, every moment, every moan, every groan, every touch. You've got to understand every single bit of it in order for you to heal. Your brain is lying. Your brain is trying very hard to keep a wall up so that you don't reach out for other people, that you don't heal, that you keep yourself hidden away, isolated in a hole somewhere. We cannot allow that to happen. It is not good for you. It's not good for any of us. We need people. Okay, we want to be connected to people because we are people. It is a good thing for us to love and be connected to people. But if you keep listening to what the fear is telling you in your brain, you are going to push people away. Okay, so I understand. Full disclosure, there's a reason why people say, "Oh yeah, you should get to ask any question you want," and that is because your brain like itches, right? Your brain is mad; it wants to find out everything, and if you decide, "No, I'm not going to ask that question," it repeats that question over and over and over again in your brain, right? It does not matter what you do about it; your brain wants to ask questions. So instead of the questions that you want to ask, okay, not those because they're not good. Try these. The and THEAND, the and from the good people at theskindeep.com. This can be found on Amazon. These are the healing edition questions. These are better questions, okay? They are not intentionally designed to hurt yourself. The questions that your brain comes up with on this trauma are designed to hurt you. The answer is going to cause you pain. It is going to make you want to retreat. The answers to these are not designed to cause you pain. They're trying to get you to have that understanding that you say you want. This would be better to get that. Okay? Does that make sense? I'll give you a couple of them. But stop asking the questions that you want to ask, okay? The questions that you've been asking, they are not good for you. They are not going to help you. They are going to get you to a worse place than you're at right now if you keep on asking them. And if you keep on asking them, your brain will get that locked in and say, but you asked all the other questions. You got to ask this question too. And you will get stuck in a loop and you won't be able to stop. All right. You'll get addicted to it. You'll keep showing up assuming that he should answer every question that you have, even though he's answered every question that you have. You're just going to keep coming up with more and more of them and making them harder. Okay. Making them more difficult for him to answer and pissing yourself off. Okay. Don't do it. Just trust me when I say don't do it. It's not good for you. Okay. But I'll give you some that are better. What do you think I really need to hear these days? Now, see, might be a surprise. Might be something you don't expect him to say back to that, right? And what would you say to that if he asked you, what do you think I really need to hear these days? What does he really need to hear? All right. These are not just questions for you to ask him. These are questions for you to get some information out there too. So if you were the one that had to answer that question, how would you answer it? What do you think that he really needs to hear? Not something negative, not, oh, I think that you need to hear that you're just such a cheating bastard and I hate you. That's not helpful. Okay. What is some real advice that you would give if you were asked this question? Okay. The next one says, what do you believe you have healed in me? Isn't that an interesting question? Isn't that a thing? Okay. Now, you got to figure that out because that is a really important thing. What do you believe you have healed in me? I know for sure my husband has healed several things in me that were a little broken by other people. Okay. Not even his fault, but he ended up healing it. So, think on that. What is something that he's healed in you? And what do you think you've healed in him? Isn't that a good question? Wouldn't you want him to answer that? Wouldn't you want him to share that with you? Way better than where did you have sex? Or did you tell that you loved her? Isn't that way better? I think so. Did you fantasize about her? Did you want to kiss her? All those questions, they're painful for you. Don't do it. Okay? And the last one, what do you think is the source of my joy? I like that question. I don't think I've come across that one before. What do you think is the source of my joy? And if he can't figure out where you got some joy coming from, that's something that you might want to be looking at. If he's like, I don't know where you get joy from, man. You haven't been particularly joyful. You might want to work on that a little bit. All right. Or if he tells you something that you were unexpecting, you weren't thinking that he was going to say that particular thing. He might come up with an answer that you don't even expect. You've got to be open to communication without expectations. You're asking the questions that you have you're expecting a lot. You're expecting something negative. You're expecting things to go badly. These questions, they kind of leave it so that you don't have all that expectation attached to it. You want to know the real answer to this question. You don't want it to lead into something else. That's what's happening when you are angry and you're like, I need to ask these questions. It is always leading into whatever fear, whatever anxiety, whatever insecurity that you have going on that is swirling around in your brain. So when you ask those questions, it's not about that question. It's about something else that you want to find out from inside you. Okay? With these questions, there's no ulterior motives. There is the question. Do you want to know the answer to this question or not? That's where we're at with these. So please, it's like a $30 game. It's got 199 questions. You only need like 3 questions. That's all you need. You do not need to play with 7 like it's a game of Uno. 3 cards, back and forth, asking each other these questions. You are going to have a pretty deep, pretty long conversation. It's going to have some communication to it. You're going to understand things that you didn't understand before. You can tell your brain to F off and stop asking all those stupid questions because you've got better questions to ask. All right? Does that make sense? I want you to be able to heal. I want you to break past this trauma response. Everybody goes through it. Everybody is experiencing exactly the same thing. Okay. We are all thinking the same things. We are all feeling the same ways. We are all getting the same information from other people. It is all the same because it is a trauma response. It is something that happens in our bodies that is universal to everyone. So we've got to know that's what it is and then decide I'm not going to just be at the mercy of whatever my body says right now. I'm not going to do that. I listen to my body. Yes, I do. But that does not mean that I'm going to sit here and let it wreck my whole life and make me miserable every minute. All right. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. All right. All right. Let's see. Got questions? Anybody got questions? Let me know. Questions, comments, thoughts, complaints. Andre, you said you were gonna let me know what you want to talk about, and then there's nothing up here. Let's see. Pamela, I hope you catch me since you're in Greece. It's like 4 a.m. for you right now. I hope that you get to catch me when you wake up. All right. Just so you know, right now I have a little bit of time this week, and I am trying to put together my next recovery and reconciliation group. It is group coaching for women. We meet every week for 3 months. Okay, it is 90 days that we are going to be together. We meet every week. We have a session every week. We talk about everything. We talk about everything that is going on, all of the dreams formula, everything that you have questions about. It's in a group setting. I am doing this because I am creating my signature program. It's going to be called Happily Ever After Infidelity, and it is going to be an area where you can do group work together. So I want to be able to, test out everything on you. So I am getting a group together. Make sure you message me if you are interested, or go ahead and go to the top of the page on the Love After Cheating group or to my bio on Instagram and go ahead and sign up for a one-on-one call with me. And I'll tell you all about the program and what I'm doing. All right. All right. Let's see. Do I see anything else? I don't see any other comments. Let me know if you got anything you want to say. You got anything you want to ask me? I am here for you, babe. I want to know what the issues are, what you want to talk about, how we can get past this. Was the full moon kicking your butt? It was kicking my butt. Let's see. I had a question yesterday, and I think this is something that normally happens. So I just want to I think this is something that everybody feels. She said that D-Day was back in November of 2023. She said she's having a few good months, and then bam, triggered. And it's like I'm back at square one. Okay, let me start with that. You are not back at square one. That is not what is happening. Your body and your brain try and make you feel like you are. But you have done so much work. It is 2025, okay? It's been a good long while. You are not all the way back in November of 2023. You have learned a lot. You have expanded your growth. You have been working with him and being with him ever since then. So you're not actually back at square one. That is a trauma response, okay? Your brain telling you, all hope is lost. All progress is gone just because you were triggered. It is trying to be dramatic. All right. It is trying to make you back off of the work that you're doing. Don't do that. You must have been doing good work for your brain to freak out like that. For your brain to be like, no, you had a trigger, so it's all over. That is a sign that you've been doing good work and your brain is trying everything it possibly can to make it seem like you're not doing good work, that you are still sad and lonely and nothing is going well. Do not fall for it. It is not real. Okay. My husband said he never wanted to leave me. They usually don't. Okay. I know that that is a big thing. People feel like, oh, well, if he wanted to cheat, why didn't he just leave me? Because that's two separate things. Okay. You doing the wrong thing in a relationship does not mean you don't want the relationship. I don't know where that came from. I know that a lot of women think that now. I know that we've all been told that, but I'm trying to tell you that's not a thing. You can do the wrong thing and still love somebody deeply. Like they say, you can sin and still love God. Okay, you can do the wrong thing and still want your relationship, still love the person. Okay. So he cheated in 2017 and then again in 2021. Even paid the girl in 2021. Like, WTF? He's so cheap. Yeah, I know. But that was not about, that was paying for his own self-esteem. There was something going on that he felt bad about himself, badly enough that he took money out of his pocket to get somebody to cheat with him. Like, how bad you got to feel about yourself for all of that. Okay. There's something deeply wrong there. There's something that he is experiencing that is painful that made him think, hey, I'm going to pay this girl to spend some time with me. All right. It's just sad. It is a sad thing, but a lot of them do it. Okay. I'm really struggling and wanting to leave. That is because you are triggered. You have been staying and you wanted to stay. Your brain, when you are triggered, says, you don't want to stay. This is not the person you want. This is not the life you want. You're so stupid. It will tell you all of that, but that's not what your heart says. Your heart knows this is the person that you want to be with. It would cause you pain to give them up. And honestly, and that's really, if that's the only thing that you know for sure is, yes, it hurts to be here, but it would cause me even more immense pain to leave, to not be here, to not have this person in my life, then you know that. And you don't have to be ashamed of that. You don't have to try and convince yourself otherwise. If that is how you know you feel, just feel that. Your brain will try and tell you that you should be scared and you should not be with this person. However, you get to choose what your life is. Your brain on its little freak out autopilot is not the boss of you. Okay? It said, it's scary to stay when I feel like I'm with someone I don't know, and also scary to leave with 3 children. Okay, fair enough. The thing with the kids, that's always a difficulty. It always makes you feel a little bit more hesitant to go. I understand that. But feeling like you're with somebody you don't know, that is, again, a trauma response. Your brain is saying, this person is a stranger. Because he did something unexpected, I don't really know him. Yes, I've spent years with him. Yes, I've had babies with him, but he did something that I did not expect him to do. So therefore, I don't know him at all. That is a trauma response. Your brain trying to convince you You don't know him. You can leave him behind because you don't even know him. That's what it's doing. All right. Again, you don't have to listen to that. That is just your brain being freaked out. It's just being scared. It wants to pull away. It wants you to isolate. It does not want you to heal. How do I know when it's time? Yeah, if there's one thing that I have found, it's when you are ready to go, you are ready to go. Okay. I don't want you to think for a moment. If you really truly had decided that you wanted to go, that you wouldn't know it, you wouldn't be absolutely sure of it, you wouldn't walk out the door with your head held high. I want you to know that that's wrong. All right. Again, your brain trying to convince you that you're dumb and that you wouldn't be connected with your own feelings enough to know when enough is enough. If you decide that this is enough and this is not a person that you want to deal with anymore, you are going to know. Okay. You'll be the first person to know. All right. I understand it's difficult, especially when you have been triggered again, but that's not actually currently happening. He's not actually doing anything wrong right now. This was just a trigger that reminded you of him doing wrong in the past. So you trying to leave over something that is not happening right now seems a little pointless, especially if you've already done all this work to stay in the first place. Okay. I've been debating Boris since 2018 because he's been so angry, distant, and just not a good spouse at all since then. Then in late 2022, he finally started stepping up and being a good man. And I find out everything in 2023. All right. Sound like he was having some difficulties, and then he got his stuff together. All right. It is weird that okay, let me just say this. If you Google right now, if you go and Google what age do men mature, dead ass, it says 43. Okay? With all my heart, that's what it says. Okay? So they've got some growing up to do. We are growing up anticipating being in a relationship from the very beginning, right? We are growing up with the anticipation that we are going to be partners, we're going to have to work on this. They're not growing up like that. They don't grow up and mature until they're like 43 years old. All right. They don't mature fully and get their feet underneath them until then. So yes, they are going to have some growing up to do. Yes, they are going to have to experience some pitfalls. They're going to have to mess stuff up to be able to get to a better place. But it sounds like he figured it out. He was like, this is not the type of man that I want to be. I've got to do better than this. And better late than never. If he knows that he was wrong and he is like, you know what? I understand I was wrong. And that's not even that long. From 2028, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's 4 years later. That's how long it took mine. That's how long it took mine to start acting right. He cheated for about 4 years and then he started getting himself together after that. But that was only about 4 years in between. Okay, well, I'm fed up with him, but I'm staying, to him getting himself together and being the partner that you needed him to be. All right. So he grew up in a pretty good amount of time. It wasn't like he was taking it extra long. All right. He was deciding, okay, I need to do better than this. And he stepped up and he started to do better. Okay. You said then you found out everything in 2023, which is shattering. I get that. I understand. But that does not mean that that work that he was doing wasn't real. It was like confirmation that I should have left years ago, but instead I'm here because he's finally being the husband I need. It's so confusing and gross. I hate this for us. Why can't they just be honest and open like we are? Oh goodness, there's a lot to unpack there. The confirmations you should have left years ago. Again, trauma response. Your body and your brain are trying to make you run. Any excuse is good enough. You shouldn't be with this person. Be scared. Be afraid. Get out of here. Okay, that's what it's doing. It is messing with you. Even though you have wanted to stay and you chose to stay and you did stay, it is still telling you that you're wrong for that decision. Okay. Instead, I'm here because he's finally been the husband that I need. Okay, yes. he grew up, okay? That is what happens in marriage. You don't know what you don't know about marriage until you get married, okay? And then you got to work on yourself, and you got to work on your own issues, and you got to be better, and you got to practice, and then you become a good spouse. You don't start off that way. Right? Even you, I understand that you feel like you're open and honest and, oh, I never cheated, but you don't know how to be a wife right off the bat either. You had to practice, you had to learn, you had to grow, you had to forgive, you had to practice these things in order to get to the place that you're in right now. So, yes, he had to do that too. That is a good thing. That's what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to get together and grow into this good marriage. You're not just going to come in and know every bit of it right from the very beginning. That's impossible. I understand it's confusing and gross. I get that, but he has stepped up. He has figured out where he was lacking, and he is doing better. That's the point. That is the whole point of being with somebody for life. Is, hey, I know that I got my own issues. I'm gonna work on my stuff. I'm gonna try and be better for you because you deserve better from me. That is exactly the point. That's the point. Okay. Um. Why do they constantly need validation and the dopamine hit from the photos and videos and in-person cheating? Seems like whenever they get stressed, they immediately run to the computer, corn, or another woman. That that right there, that was a symptom for my husband. Running around talking to people online, extra into the corn, trying to just talk to everybody. That was actually a symptom. Mine had bipolar disorder. Okay, I think that a lot of people's inappropriate behavior comes from some type of mental issue. Something is going on, something is wrong, some wrong program has run, and it seems like a good idea to do something that's a terrible idea. That has to be the case because you would know otherwise. Oh, this is a bad idea. This is going to cause my girl to suffer. I'm probably going to suffer because I'm probably going to get caught. Like, if you are not in that frame of mind going into it, you're delusional going into it. You're like, oh no, I'm not going to get caught, and this will never hurt anybody, and this is just a little thing for me. Okay, you're telling yourself lies left and right just to be able to justify doing something bad you know is wrong, you know you should not do, but you're telling yourself that you should do it, trying to justify it in your head. That to me is a sign that there's something wrong. There's something going on that is wrong inside your head because you have decided that this crazy thing sounds like a real legit idea. It sounds like a great thing to do. It sounds like, oh, I'm not going to have any troubles from this. I'm just going to feel good and never get caught. There's got to be something wrong with that, right? Is it just me? Doesn't that sound insane that they think that they wouldn't get caught? Like that seems like a crazy thing to me. So if there's something going on with him that all of a sudden he's needing to talk to women, he's needing to look at women, I found that was probably about 5 steps past. He's manic. He is having a hard time. He is struggling already. All right. That was like down the road a little ways. It started off with sleep issues. And if he didn't sleep properly, then he was going to be psychotic. And then if he was going to be psychotic, he was going to be angry. If he was going to be angry, then he was going to try and end up hurting my feelings. And if he couldn't just hurt my feelings, then he'd go talk to other women. All right. It was a long line of things that had to lead up to him trying to fix himself to feel better with other women. Okay. So I feel like if you have noticed this pattern with him where he's needing his dopamine hit, he is feeling some kind of way about himself, there's something else going on there you should probably know about. The best way to go about that, I have found, is to sit down and write it all down. It's very hard to get in and get to a psychiatrist. It's hard to do that. But if you have consistently been writing down the pattern of events that keeps happening that leads to him and watching the porn and being all over these women online, if you follow the pattern, you will see that there is a pattern. There is something going on that you're missing the previous steps of that will give you a good clue as to what's going on with his head. All right. So I feel like if this is something that is a regular thing and it keeps being a problem, more than likely there's some mental component going on to that. There's some depression, there's some anxiety, there's some kind of disorder is happening that makes him think this terrible idea is such a good idea. All right. I feel like that has to be the thing. All right. So hopefully, everybody that has experienced what she was experiencing can understand what I'm saying. I understand that you feel like you want to run. You feel like, oh, I'm triggered and I'm right back to square one. I know that's how you feel, but that's not actually what's happening. All right. You do not have to give up. You do not have to say screw it. You do not have to throw your hands up and not be with the person that you love because they did something stupid. Okay. That is unnecessary. You don't have to do that. You can choose to love the person you love because it's what you want. And that's the biggest part of the dreams formula. If you have not got a copy of my dreams formula, go ahead and go to my link tree or go to the top of the Love After Cheating page and get yourself a copy of How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity, because that is my dreams formula. It is exactly the path. It is the exact path that I am going to tell you how to walk in order to heal. Not do the actions of hurting, do the actions of healing. Decide that this is what you want, that you want to heal, that you want to stay, that you want to work things out. Recognize that that is going to be a fearful thing to do. There's going to be fear coming from your head. There's going to be fear coming from other people. And you have to choose, you have to anchor yourself in your decision to be able to deal with the fear. E is evaluating why this happened. Why do you do this? Chances are sick, sad, stupid. Those are the three S's. Those are the three signs and symptoms of something going on that might have made him cheat. Sick is some kind of illness, mental, physical, any kind of illness, something physically happening to your body. Sad is a loss or grief of some kind. And stupid is all of the stupid things we get told about being in relationships together, men and women. Men being told, oh, you should have lots and lots of girlfriends, you should sleep with lots of women, you should have every girl all over you. Okay. Ridiculousness, but stupid things that they were told. All right. A is allowing the healing to happen, letting down that wall, getting close, doing the intimate stuff again, putting your ring back on, kissing, hugging, having sex, doing your day-to-day stuff together, letting the person back in. Okay. M is for managing those future feelings. You are going to have triggers. Just like she said, you are going to have triggers. You got to know what to do about those triggers before they happen. You got to know what it feels like inside your body to have a trigger. Every time for me, it is a twist and a drop. Every time I know that I am triggered because it feels like that every single time, and it is a physical feeling. You can figure out what the physical feeling is, and then every time it happens, have a plan for what you're going to do. I'm going to go do my deep breathing. I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm going to go drink some water. I'm going to go talk to a friend. Whatever it is, know what your body feels like when you're triggered, and then have a thing to do about that trigger. Okay. And then S is for seeking support. You've got to get with somebody who can tell you, hey, the path is over here. Okay. You got to remember that you want to you made this decision, and you get to decide what your life is like. You don't have to listen to anybody else. I'm backing you up. I feel like you're absolutely right in your decision. Yes, it is a scary decision to make. I understand that you're feeling fearful. However, I believe in you. I do not think that you are making a mistake in the decision that you are making. You are making the best decision that you can make for your own life, and you shouldn't be afraid of that. All right. Evaluating the why, figuring out, okay, hey, he did this. And you can have some compassion because obviously he wasn't quite in his right mind and he was having a hard time and he did something super, super stupid, but it does not take away the fact that he loves you. You can forgive. You can give a little bit of compassion on whatever it was he did because he's so dumb. All right. Managing, allowing the healing to remind you, hey, look, you said that you love this person. You got to start treating them like you love them. Okay. And managing those future feelings, you've got to have a plan. What's the plan for when you get triggered like this? And know the plan and be able to run you through the plan instead of you just trying to do it all by yourself. This person knows the plan. So that is why I do this, because I can do that for you. I can be that support. I can help you to figure out exactly where the path is and then what the healing action is to do in every step. Every step of the way, you don't have to ask, you don't have to figure out all by yourself what to do. You can just listen to me. You can just let me be your fairy godmother, leading you back through the woods, back to your castle. All right. This is your fairy tale. It is not over. It is not over. This is your love story. This is the part of the story where everything is falling apart and the reader is on the edge of their seat for this fairy tale and what's going to happen to my queen in this story. That is where we are right now. If you need a fairy godmother to help you get to the end of the story, I got you. All right. So let me know. Go ahead and message me if you are interested, or just go ahead and sign up. Put on my calendar. It is at the, I think it's at the top of the page. Hold on. Let me make sure. Okay. If it's not, I'll put it in the comments. Hold on one second. There we go. I put it in the comments on the Facebook page, but it is definitely in my link tree on Instagram, so you can catch it anywhere. Go ahead and click that link, pick a date and a time, and we can talk. We can talk about your plan to get out of the woods. You've been cursed. You're wandering the woods. You're trying to find your way out, trying to find your way back home. I know the way home. Okay? I know the way out of the woods. I will shine the light on the path. I will put you on the path. I will push you down the path if you need me to. But I need you to reach out to me. I need you to go ahead and say, all right, I need the help, and get on one of these enchanted reconciliation calls with me. You will have a plan. Before the end of the call, you will have at least 3 things that you are going to do. You're going to feel better at the end of the call, too. You're going to feel like, oh, you know what? I don't feel so bad anymore. Things are going pretty good. Tasha's giving me some pretty good advice. I can see how, yeah, I can see how I can get through this. All right. That's what I want for you. I want you to feel better at the end of our call. So get on a call with me. Go ahead and click that link. All righty. I think that's about it. Let me just tell you one more thing. In addition to all the things that I told you earlier about to do every single solitary day, I need you to start doing your affirmations every day. Are you doing your affirmations? If you are with me on tech support, I send you affirmations every single solitary day and journal prompts. All right. If you want to work with me, that is an excellent value right there, just to get your affirmations in every day. I remind you of why the affirmation is true, because I know it's difficult when you are trying to start doing affirmations. You're like, I don't know if this is true about me. The first one is, I am enough. All right. I explained to you why you are enough. All right. It is difficult because when you are traumatized, your brain will tell you awful things about yourself just to say, oh, you can't be trusted. Your judgment is not good enough, and you'll be hurt if we do what you want. And that's just not the case. Okay. You are absolutely capable of taking care of yourself. You do not need your brain coming in and saying that you are dumb, you are ugly, you are never going to be a good leader, and we're not going to listen to you. You don't need that. You need to feel good about yourself and take control. So, that's what you're doing when you're doing your affirmations. You are saying good things about yourself and telling your brain that that's what you want it to think about you. Not this negative stuff that it's been saying, but the positive thing. All right. So this is your affirmation for today. Today, I am capable. Today, I will accomplish every goal that I set for myself. Let those goals be the stuff we talked about earlier. Doing your deep breathing, doing your journaling, getting that attitude of gratitude. Stop asking all those questions. Do your affirmations. Hey, those are goals. Those are simple goals. These are not big things that you have to try and really work hard to do. If you just go ahead and commit to them, they're going to start to change your life. So today I am capable. Today I will accomplish every goal I set for myself. 5 goals. 5 things that you can do right now, starting right now, that are going to make you feel better, that are going to make this trauma go away and get you to a better place in your relationship too. You are capable. I know that you can do it. So go for it, okay? All right. So I think that's about it. I think that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Go ahead and make sure you click on that link to get on my calendar, get on a call with me. Do your deep breathing, do your journaling, do your gratitude practice. Don't ask all those questions, do your affirmations, and more than anything, do not do what the fear and the pain tell you to do. They are trauma responses. If you do what they say, you will just reinforce them, and there will be more trauma and more pain. Okay? All righty, y'all. That's about it. I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you for trying on unconditional love. I think you are super brave. I think that you are super loving. And I think that you deserve to have the happy ending that you want. So please make sure you make an appointment to talk with me so that I can help you to do that, so I can help you get out of the woods. All right? All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Bye, y'all. Bye, Instagram. And bye over here to Facebook and YouTube.